Do you love the Tabernacle Choir? This year, the choir's music is everywhere you are. Listen to your favorite choir songs and music and the spoken word anytime you want on Alexa by simply enabling the skill.
Alexa, play music in the spoken word.
Now playing music in the spoken word.
You can also download the Tabernacle Choir app, subscribe to the choir on YouTube, listen on Spotify, and have access to all their wonderful music. Happy listening.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Welcome back to the show.
Oh, I love a Monday.
So how was your weekend?
Fine weekend.
Yeah, good weekend.
The weekend is over.
Okay, so it's Monday.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Again.
Finally, let's get back.
Let's get back to it. Back to what?
Back to what?
Work. Okay, let's do it.
It's showtime, folks.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in on a Monday morning. Well, that was an odd weekend, wasn't it? I don't feel like we really get back into a normal sports rhythm now until football kicks off. We're in this kind of European sports season. Everything kicks off. It is different this year because the World Cup was here in the United States. Because if it's... and it's in Europe, Asia, Africa, wherever, the kick times get so weird. The Open Championship, everything starts so early. It actually goes on all night till you get to the final round. Then the leaders are teeing off. It's early in the morning, but at least it's semi-reasonable. It's just French Open, Wimbledon, Open Championship, Tour de France is still going, I guess, and then most years the World Cup. It's the time of year when our sports scene slows down. And so we're getting up all kinds of weird hours to watch sports. If you did get up early and watch the Open Championship, you were rewarded. That was a great finish. Ryan Fox gets the victory. The New Zealander birdies 18, 175 yards, knock it to 11 feet, and then make the birdie putt to win. That was something. I never thought Scotty Scheffler was going to do it. I was hoping he would, since I picked him. But it was always just like out of arms. It's just a little too far away. He started to give himself some hope, had a couple bogeys, which just really seem inevitable. You've got to take chances. You got to mess with the pot bunkers and the fescue. If you keep laying up short of the trouble, then it's just so hard to make birdie. And you got to make birdies, right? 10 under is the winning score. You have to make birdies. So especially late in the tournament when you got to make up ground. So it happens. He finished fourth. Not exactly terrible. I have to say, we had a station I don't know what to call it. Barbecue? No, it was a smoker. It wasn't a station dinner that Scotty G hosted at his house. And I did slide over to PK on Saturday night. It was probably with spouses and in some cases kids. There were probably, 40 people there, I would guess. Maybe that's 30. And so everybody's visiting with everybody and introducing spouses, and some people know each other and some people haven't seen somebody in a while and all that. But I slide over to PK. I am very interested to see what Sam Burns does tomorrow. PK would have tortured Bob to no end if he'd picked back-to-back winners. Burns, after his 62 Friday, backed it up with a 65 Saturday, but the final round 72 sinks him. He finishes third, 2 shots behind Ryan Fox. Cameron Young with an early 64 set the bar, and Fox was the only one who could clear it. Cam Young ends up finishing second. Scotty Scheffler fourth, and Tommy Fleetwood fifth, and none of us could pick Fleetwood. So PK and I got a golfer in the top 5, and, Bob did not. What can I say? That's the way it goes. The drama of the weekend was Bryson DeChambeau, and that 2-shot penalty seemed to me like it had to happen. He's walking around in the weeds all around the ball, and come on, we've We have all. That's the one case where amateurs actually know, but pros. We've been over in the weeds more than you guys. We know, and we know what a problem it is when there's stuff in your backswing, whether it's, the fescue or branches or, rocks or whatever it is. We've all been in trouble. I need relief from that fence. Yeah, that might have happened to me a time or two. So, he made a scene of it. It ends up not really mattering. He finishes at 4 under without the penalty. He's at 6 under, which would have been top 10. Yes, he was still top 20. Would have been top 10, but still would have been 4 shots off the winning number. So, but hey, and those are great comments from Rory McIlroy, just about basically he's not his favorite, and he thinks it's a little performative. A little. And it's slowed up all the times because they're out there arguing with him. The only person who's slowing things down more is LeBron with not picking a team, and they can't make the schedule. All the volunteers and the golfers waiting to get their tee times before they left. Good stuff from Roy there. He got his digs in. And speaking of the NBA and the moves, there was a trade. It wasn't the big personnel announcement we're waiting for with LeBron, but Oklahoma City, who has to get under the second apron, did it. They traded Lou Dort and Ryan Nembhard in a 3-team deal. They sent Nembhard and Dort to Atlanta, and then Atlanta sends Zachary Risache, the former number 1 draft pick, to Dallas, and then draft picks to Oklahoma City because they can't afford to take players. So they get second-round picks in 27, 31, and 32. Basically, the award for them is just getting under the cap, and they've moved Aaron Wiggins. They moved Isaiah Joe. So, they've gotten rid of enough salary there that they won't hit that. It's going to be a problem next year. They're going to get to the second apron. But, first they chip away the bench. Now a starter who can probably be replaced. He doesn't shoot the 3 well. Certainly didn't shoot the 3 well against Oklahoma City, 20% in that playoff series, which I think they lost primarily because of injuries. But, secondarily, his shooting was certainly a problem. Kason Wallace and A.J. Mitchell figure to get a lot more time now, and Wallace will get paid next year, so that'll be a second apron problem. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a big raise kicking in, so they've got issues, but at least for a year, they kick the can down the road. And now, with that NBA news taken care of, we now sit around and wait for LeBron to decide where he's going to go, and then we'll find out who will get to play the season opener, who will play on Christmas Day, and all the primetime games, and get all of that worked out. So there you go. And then the other thing, Major League Baseball, Dodgers and Yankees split a doubleheader yesterday. The two big brands, the two major markets, obviously a lot more recent success. So Dodgers Yankees means more than Angels Mets. Thank you very much. A lot more. But look at the Boston Red Sox. They win again, 13 in a row this year. Has had so many crazy streaks, both for better and for worse. And I think it just comes down to there are some genuinely bad teams out there, and if you can play decently and get yourself in pretty good shape and pretty good run form, get a little hot streak going, and then hit a soft spot in your schedule, you can rattle off 8, 10, 12 in a row. Or in the case of Boston, 13 in a row. They're now over 500. They are 6 games behind the division leaders, the Tampa Bay Rays. And in the super mediocre American League, the Red Sox are now sitting in the last wild card spot. Only a game in front of Seattle, only 2 in front of Baltimore, 2 in front of Minnesota. So it's not like it's over. But they put themselves in a good spot. Now, a lot of times when you have a big hot streak, it can be followed by a big cold streak. So they're not going to win forever. And when they cool off, how hard will they fall? Hey, if they go out and lose, get swept in a 3-game series, not surprising, but you got to stop that before it turns into 5 out of 6 or 8 out of 10, and you start giving back a lot of that ground that was very hard won. So most of the teams are right around 100 games now, so it's not a sprint to the finish, but we're getting there. It's Boston. I think for Boston it's 98 games, but Cleveland and Seattle are around them are at 100. So we're getting into that neighborhood. All right, DJ and PK, that's some of what was going on this weekend. A couple other things. Got a couple questions up on our Facebook page. BYU's Rob Wright made news, scoring 101 points in a summer league game. what does this mean? PK's got the question up. Can he be the best point guard in college? What was the level of competition? Without seeing it, I can't possibly get excited about it. I just, honestly, it means nothing to me. It's a curiosity. They need size. He needs help. He's a good player. That kind of number suggests he'll have a great season. We'll see how that goes. But personally, I just can't get too worked up about that. Also there, Morgan Scally says he's signing off social media for the season. Do you want the players to do the same? Yes, absolutely. Anytime you can spend prepping for the game instead of on social media, that's a win. Social media gets pretty crazy, and especially with all these stories that we're hearing about players getting taunted and having terrible things sent to them. And you got people gambling on every snap now. You can have a great player having a great season, but, he's going to drop a pass or throw an interception or miss a tackle or whatever. So, yeah, just get off social media. We literally have people at our company hired to make sure we do social media, so I can't follow my own advice, but I wouldn't mind. It's not the way the world works, so I won't be doing it, but I wouldn't mind. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Pablo Mastroeni, RSL, back in action against LAFC. We'll get to the World Cup final coming up. Stay with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Well, the World Cup is over. Spain, the champs again for a second time. They won it in 2010. There's already speculation about them winning next time in 2030 when they'll be co-hosting with Morocco and Uruguay and I don't know. There's a whole long list. But they'll have the advantage of playing at home. It was an impressive performance by them, impressive tournament. They won every game but one. They did play a scoreless draw with Cape Verde in the opener. They shut out. They gave up one goal to Belgium. That was it in the quarterfinals. And other than that, they shut everybody out. Phenomenal defense. They did the stuff that Pablo Mastroeni is always preaching. When you lose the ball, if you're the one who loses it, your first job is to win the ball back, and your first step can't be to retreat and defend the goal. It has to be to get to the person with the ball and take the ball away from them and close them down. Don't let them pick up their head and make a pass and pick out a target. And Spain's defending. Argentina just could not put anything together. They so rarely were able to maintain possession, and even more rarely able to maintain possession in the attacking half of the field or the attacking third. Messi was rendered largely ineffective. Now, the late red card, obviously, that was a factor. And maybe Argentina could have gotten to penalties and won. They've done it before. And Spain's lost in penalties. Is how they've been knocked out of the last two World Cups, so they wanted no part of it, even though I think penalties are kind of a coin flip. So in a way, the fact you've lost a couple recently is a positive. You ought to win the next one. Something for RSL fans to hold on to since they've been knocked out on penalties by Houston and by Minnesota. I think they've lost, although they did eliminate Seattle. I think they're, and Austin also, that might have gone to penalties as well. Maybe they're 2-4 in penalties, so maybe Pablo and RSL should embrace that. But they should certainly embrace those defensive principles, man. 11 guys, Pablo likes to call them dogs, 11 dogs swarming, and that's how Spain did it. And Argentina, it took forever to get a shot. And finally, the last 5 minutes, they created a couple of them. But super impressive for and still we haven't had a repeat winner since Brazil in the 60s, 58 and 62. And Argentina got close, but Spain didn't let them get that close. That was impressive. All right, DJ and PK, let's get to Pablo Mastroeni. He joined us on Friday, looking ahead to that game with LAFC, and obviously some of the talks dated. We talked about the possibility of Messi winning a second World Cup title, and obviously he didn't do that. But here's Pablo with PK and I on The Zone. Pablo, I remember watching the World Cup years ago, and there was all this talk about Messi and how good he was, but he's good at the club level. In the World Cup, he just can't score goals, and Argentina doesn't advance, and the pressure is huge, and he's just not the same. It impacts his legacy. And I guess it's just proof that if you stick with something, he wins a World Cup at the age of 35 when people thought he was past his prime. And now at 39, he's 90 minutes or 120 or some penalties away from going back to back. And there's no way anybody would have predicted that because they were disappointed when he was 23, 27, 31.
Right. Yeah, no, it's been a remarkable journey, and I don't think there's been too many people, in the history of sport that's had so much pressure. I think, Michael Jordan kind of put the pressure on himself, but, I think when you talk about soccer and the impact of pressure, I think Argentina's one claim to fame is their national team. And I think they represent a whole country. And I think when you see these guys, after tough games and they're so emotional about the games, it's because they're carrying the weight of the country as well. And so for a young man, when he was young to be the next Diego Maradona and then not win anything and then finally win a Copa America and then World Cup. And then now it's almost like he's playing without the pressure of doing it. Although, he's missed a couple PKs, but he's just got a huge burden to carry for not only his team, but his country. And so to see him do it at this age and more importantly, DJ, representing Major League Soccer, I think he'd be the first World Cup winner, if I'm not mistaken, whilst playing in Major League Soccer, which is a remarkable feat. And so, I'm cheering for him, not just because of MLS, but because the last game, I was sitting in my house by myself watching this thing, and I'd spoken to my parents before, and they were telling me how they were on the FaceTime with their family in Argentina and how everyone was pumped up for this game. And so whatever, it just evoked some feelings of watching the 86 World Cup with my dad on the couch, and I just celebrated the 2 goals against England differently than I had in a long, long time. So I think it's going to be an exciting game and one that I'll be definitely tuned into.
Going down the line to next time around, what does Diego Luna need to do to put himself in a position to be on this team?
Yeah, that's a great question, PK. I think he's a young man that he did a ton of marketing, going into this World Cup roster reveal. And, I think on the field, you can't question his effort, his quality, his desire to be a part of the team. I think it's still kind of managing some stuff off the field. Since we've been back from the World Cup break, he has been a different person, a different player. And so I think oftentimes life just needs, life is the greatest teacher, and if it doesn't work out, then you change behavior. And I think the stubborn ones don't want to change. The people that make it learn from every experience. And so I think that'd be a great question for Diego. But I've seen a noticeable change in his demeanor, the way he approaches training every day, not just on game days. And I think that will put him in a great position for the next World Cup.
All of this World Cup soccer has sidelined to MLS, and you are back at it now. The Burnley game, you win 4-1, but if anybody thought you were going to be in there laughing and high-fiving, they didn't know you very well. You were identifying everything that was wrong, and 3 straight road games, 9 points limiting. I mean, third place feels good, but I guess 3 bad results would change everything in a heartbeat, and you got to go out on the road. So is that why you threw down the gauntlet? Because I think some fans were confused that there wasn't more joy with a 4-1 win over Burnley.
Yeah, no, I think, again, the guys have been playing top level, right? We played against Nashville, had a really good performance, went to Minnesota, had a really good performance, Burnley. But again, DJ, I think, and the video I've prepared for tomorrow, our recap, shows just moments in games. I have it paused, and we have a Burnley player with the ball, and there's two guys open in the middle of the field. Our back line's occupied by one guy. Our shape is a bit disconnected. And I say, and I'll play the clip on, and we end up getting a throw in from it. But I always talk about, it's a game of moments. It's almost like sliding doors. What happens now if that guy in the middle of the field is Bawanga? What happens if that guy in the middle of the field is Son? We're not celebrating this. You see what I'm saying? So we're always trying to improve, right? And so I think that's the whole thing is fans need to celebrate wins. That's great. Coaches never celebrate wins. What they do is they release the pressure that exists for the next game. And so, and the other part too is if we want to be serious about, being a top team in the West, the fundamentals from the individual, but more importantly, the fundamentals of our tactics, our game model, the way we want to play have to be so keyed in. And so not losing an opportunity to teach whilst the spirits are high is really, really important from a coaching perspective. When you're losing games, it's not the time to teach because no one's receiving it. Everyone's in self-preservation mode. So I just felt like it was a good opportunity to say, hey, listen, there's a lot of great stuff that happened this game. However, we're going 3 on the road. This stuff's any moment can change the way the game goes. And then we're in here afterwards going, everyone's upset, everyone's throwing things around, and everyone's heads down. And I'm saying now is the time we can fix that future moment that does not look good for us.
Well, that sounds like a principle we've heard from other coaches. Hammer them hard when you win, build them up when you lose. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. I think it's more about their ability to receive information. I think it's only natural as human beings when you lose, you want to blame. And the one thing I will say about our group this year and why it's a special group is because everyone, they're unbelievable students of the game, and they're honest people with great character. And so it's not like I'm really concerned that they'll blame. I just feel like as a human being, when you're in a good way, and you get hit with a little bit of some constructive criticism, it's also humbling as well. And I think to be a top team, you got to know that what people are saying about you outside, the media, the fans, whatever, you're never as good as what they say, and you're never as bad as what they say. You're somewhere in between. And so I think it's a good opportunity to kind of to set expectations. Listen, we need to improve every game, whether we win 4-1 or not. Because we know, and I always say this after games, is that soccer is a game of moments. And if on that day, those moments went our way. But I'm going to show the group 5 or 6 instances where if the universe decided that instead of the ball going here, it goes there, we're not in a good shape to be able to deal with that moment the right way. And now we could be on the wrong side of a scoreline.
You gave up 1 goal to Burnley. And I looked at your reaction, and you seemed irritated with a player who was out near midfield. And then an assistant got up and was waving his arms, and he was definitely mad at that player. And the player kind of shrugged like, what do you want from me? But then I also noticed the player didn't want to run over to the sideline and engage with you two about this. I think I'm going to stay over here 40 yards away and let them be mad. And then you got asked about it in the postgame. And in post-game, the answer seemed to relate to a totally different player. So I don't know if I missed something, or I don't know if that just goes to, hey, these free-flowing sports are interconnected, and player A impacts player B, and player B impacts player C, and the ankle bone's connected to the knee bone, and it all comes together. What happened on the 1 goal that irritated everybody?
Well, again, I think it's these moments, right, DJ? And again, if you would have said if we lost the ball, and they didn't score, you wouldn't really show that on the video, right? It's a kind of a moot. What are you going to get out of that, right? But what I want to show and what encapsulates moments of teaching are the results, right? So if we lose the ball, and there's this understood rule in soccer that if you lose the ball, you are the first one to fight to get it back, right? So it's not only a tactic or, it's also a mentality, and it's also about team, right? So it doesn't matter who loses the ball, because if you'll notice if a defender loses the ball or a midfielder loses the ball, they will bust their tail to get after it because they feel accountable to the team. oftentimes attacking players because they're in positions of creativity and these kind of things. They say, oh, those guys will do it. And I think my message tomorrow is going to be, if we're going to do this, we need all 11. We need to attack with 11, and we need to defend with 11. There is no one that's exempt of doing anything on their own, right? So I think that's the frustrating part. It's not so much that the goal wouldn't have happened. It's the visual that it gives that, hey, we're in this together, man. We're not these other teams that can rely on one or two guys. We're just not. And so, and for the most part, we've done a really good job. So again, I think it's like a great teaching opportunity, given that we've had all this break and some of those things that you don't hit on because you haven't had a lot of games, kind of slide under the rug. And if you let it keep going, then it becomes a thing. And so for me, it's really nipping it in the butt and saying, hey, listen, everyone is, whoever, and I always say this to the group as well, is like whoever has the ball and whoever's in possession of the ball is responsible for the next decision for the team. Right? So good decision, the team wins. Bad decision, the team suffers. But now you have to be the first one to put out that fire so we all don't sit here and go, oh, we're going to just work for one player. So I think that's a really important aspect of who we are and to make sure that we set expectations tomorrow.
You spoke of your parents. You still have most of your extended family living down there in Argentina?
Yeah, most of my extended family is still down there. Yeah, it's and the way they talk about the World Cup is different than any conversation you'd have with anyone in the States about the World Cup. I mean, these guys, they literally plan. They literally plan the day of the game like as if it was a wedding. They're like, all right, we're gonna have the barbecue at said time. Everyone's gonna come over. And the tables are all set up. The pig is roasting on the barbecue in the back. I mean, it's like a Super Bowl event every weekend. I think that's a good way of explaining it. It's not just a party like, hey, come over and we'll watch the game. It's not like that at all. So they get so excited, and it's just, it's fun for me to see, to hear my dad kind of relive those moments he had as a kid. The 78 World Cup for him was something that he talks about all the time, is one where Diego Maradona was on the cusp, and they ended up winning it in Argentina. And he talks about it. And when he talks about it, it's just, it elicits such passion in his voice. And so talking to him before the game the other day, it was kind of bringing me back when I watched my first World Cup in 86 with him. And I think that was really the moment that I understood that soccer was more than just a game. It was a way of life. It brought family together. It was a celebration of all things that are great.
Sweet.
Is there any way to take a team, in your case MLS, but whatever, and go on a trip so that they experience that? Mm-hmm. I mean, you take the team to Portugal, and I've heard about that trip. I don't know, but maybe the players are so isolated, I don't know if they feel the culture. Because when everything's important and when everything's more important, then all these details you're trying to coach, maybe they realize, well, those are more important. Now, those are places where, if you lose the ball and you don't react, you will hear about it.
Oh yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think it's kind of hard. I think once you're a professional team, because I think you're always thinking that the way we do things is not only different, but sometimes better. I mean, I think there's a cognitive bias that goes into that. I think what changed my perspective of the game was going to Argentina when I was 15 years old. I was a sophomore at T-Bird, PK. And I got this opportunity to go train with one of the best developmental clubs down in Argentina. And, one of the things that I came back with, and because I was the stud of my team, or one of the studs anyways, of my youth club. And I always got the ball. The coach always made the game kind of rotate through me. And, my teammates spoke highly of me and all these kind of things. And then you go to Argentina, and they were busing all these players from rural areas. So there'd be like 5 buses, and it'd be a tryout. And a lot of these players were poor and had sandals on their feet, and they used laces to wrap the sandals around their ankles. And I just remember asking my dad if we can go buy some of these guys some shoes. Like, I just felt like I didn't realize how bad they needed soccer. Not that they love soccer, they just needed soccer to change the socioeconomic levels of their families and get them out of poverty. And so, and then not to mention when I got on the field, they'd never pass me the ball, and they called me the Yankee. They called me the Yankee. Don't give the Yankee the ball, they kept saying. And so then I just came back to the States with a different type of appreciation for the game and how fortunate I was to have the things I had. But it also, I remember coming back and my teammates would say, "You're different, man. I don't know what it is about you. You're just different. You're playing different." And it was that experience, DJ, that really changed my life. It wasn't someone telling me that I should be grateful. It's going down there and seeing what it looks like, and how many, these kids just getting bussed in for a tryout, and then whatever, 99% of them go back, and they might keep the one guy, and so it's a dog-eat-dog world down there, and that's why when you watch the Argentinian national team, there is not one moment, not one tackle, not one loose ball that isn't contested like it was life or death.
What was their skill level compared to yours, or your skill level compared to them?
I think I was somewhere in the middle, PK. I was technical enough, but again, I think what they had over me was the hunger, the mentality, and I didn't have that. I was like, I was in terms of how we think about things. I was fed with a silver spoon, and
maybe you took it for granted.
Exactly. So I came back a different player, having experienced that for myself.
Cool.
But it would be really hard. You could experience here, but it would be really hard. And I had an assistant basketball coach once. He played in college, and then he played overseas for a year, and then he came back and he was a coach. So he's a decade deep into being an assistant coach. And I asked him, what was it like playing basketball? He played in Uruguay. So what was it like there? And he said, the number one thing I learned in that year is that carpeting is a luxury.
Huh. Exactly right. There is no carpet in South America.
And there's yeah. So hey, we walk into places, there's carpeting, we don't even think about it.
It's incredible, the luxuries we have. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is no carpet in South America.
A few years ago, I recarpeted my house. I didn't realize, man, how lucky I was.
Yeah, seriously.
You were a king, PK. You're a king.
Yeah. My wife didn't like the carpet. I said, let's have new carpet. I'm going to go home and kiss the carpet.
All right, Pablo. Good luck. LAFC, Portland, St. Louis, 3 road games in a row. You're in third place right now. 9 points is a lot. It could change in any direction. We'll see how it goes, and look forward to talking to you down the road.
Thanks a lot, guys.
There's Pablo Mastroeni. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, David Locke talking hoops with PK and I. Stay with us.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5 KSL Sports Zone. David Locke joined us on Friday to talk Summer League basketball, and the Jazz wrapped that up with a loss Friday night, but they didn't play any of their Summer League Big Three. I almost said Big Three. It's Summer League Big Three. Ace sat, Cody sat, and Darren sat. So here's David Locke talking Summer League hoops. Not particularly thrilled with it on the Zone.
There are few things in the world as gorgeous as a blue sky with the light cloud cover, Utah morning, the mountains soaring over our great city of Salt Lake, the abundant opportunities to be in the outdoors and feel nature in our great city, and then to be able to spend a few moments of that morning of one of these just majestic, absolutely fabulous mornings with DJ and PK to equal the greatness and magnitude of the great mountains that soar over our city. Boy, it is inspiring to be back with you on a Friday morning.
Huh?
Fair.
You have a good trip? You had a little time away?
I did a few different things. I've been kind of all over the place. Most recently, I took the van and went and saw The Head and the Heart at Red Rocks. I've never seen a concert at Red Rocks. That was a bucket list. I bumped into 2 Locked On Jazz listeners, which was fun. In the middle of that, I did take a little sojourn for 36 hours to a city in Europe on a trip that got aborted, so that wasn't as great. But The Head and the Heart, Red Rocks, pretty majestic and magical and fun. And, Colorado's got a lot of good stuff. It's all in the wrong places. It's not convenient to get to, but it's got some great stuff.
Yeah, that's the beauty of here is that all these things that Colorado has, here it's much closer. It takes you literally minutes. You can decide you want to ski at 10 o'clock in the morning and literally be on the lift at 10:30.
Yeah, no, 100%, because yesterday I did a ride where I rode from Silverthorne to top of Vail Pass and then to Vail and back. And,
yes.
But that's and it was incredible. But I was like, right, it's also, an hour and 45 minutes outside of Denver.
Right. Those mountains are way out there, and here they're right on top of us. I've been to Red Rock a couple of times, and it is a must on the list of places to go. Absolutely.
Do you have?
Yeah.
My other concert site is the Gorge, and I still haven't done the Gorge, even though I lived in Seattle for all those years. Have you been there?
No. And grossly underrated is Tuacahn.
Oh, really? Interesting. Oh.
Yes, Tuacahn. I went and saw the band America there several years ago, and the one guy, Jerry Beckley, there's 2 guys now, they've been doing it for 50 years, and he said, this amphitheater is as good as any we've played, and he said, I ought to know because I've played them all.
I don't, we're just chatting now. We were, as many Utahns have done, looking for a place to have some non-winter time in the winter. And it was an interesting search because there was just no question in our mind that St. George is the most beautiful place in the United States. That surrounding area, those red rocks, it wasn't what we wanted, but it is – you have your starting point be Mississippi, Los Angeles, Seattle, or Sioux Falls, North Dakota. And when you decide it's all obviously in the eye of the beholder, and some people want water, but the red rocks of that area are actually just so gorgeous, and really I felt unequaled. We didn't end up there, but it's still too cold in January and February, and but it's pretty fantastic.
All right, let's hit the people with a little basketball. I am curious if anything about Summer League changed any of your opinions about Jazz players or focused your opinions about Jazz players.
Many years ago, Damian Lillard was the MVP of Summer League. So was Josh Shelby. Did I lose you?
Right here, we're just used to your pauses, and then you continue your thoughts. We're a little gun-shy stepping in so quick.
Well, you got to deal with me. And we've only worked together for 26 years. I don't know why you can't figure out my patterns.
We are. We thought you'd jump back in with a salient point. We were waiting for the genius.
He made the point.
I think Summer League is one of the greatest marketing things in the world. And I think Summer League is literally summer camp for NBA fans. If you have a chance to go, you should go. It's amazing. From an NBA personnel standpoint or someone who's in the league, it's literally summer camp. It's so fun. You would have 3 days and you see everybody you've known for 30 years. It's the best. I watched a game where the Utah Jazz played the Washington Wizards in Summer League, and Trey Lyles shot 30 times for Utah, and Kelly Oubre shot 30 times for Washington. It was not only one of the most disgusting games I've ever seen, but it was what are we doing? Neither of these guys is ever going to shoot 30 times. In fact, the problem with both of these guys is that they want to shoot 30 times and that they won't assimilate into being an NBA player who fits into the mold of the 11 other guys that play with them. And they're both ungodly selfish. And we're just accentuating all of the things that are wrong with them. And sure enough, both of them got traded from their original teams because they wouldn't stop shooting and they wouldn't play a team game. And sure enough, after 6 or 7 years of having their heads beaten in about the fact that they're just a rotation player in the NBA, they both figured it out. And both of them ended up with like 12 or 13-year careers. Trey Lyles back in the league this year after a year in Europe, and Kelly Oubre's kind of turned into a nice player. But Summer League is just a wonderful marketing experience, a super fan experience, and for those of us in the NBA, summer camp. But from a basketball standpoint, I think it's useless.
I don't know that I would go that far because I'm going to make a projection, and it's not based on Summer League exclusively.
Was Kyle Filipowski like a different player last year? Go look at Kyle Filipowski, who's MVP of the Summer League. Go look at his numbers year to year. Tell me the difference.
Okay, well, hear me out on this particular one. With this team, as it's constructed, I believe Darren Peterson has the opportunity, and it's not solely based on Summer League. I watched him extensively in college and before that. He should be the Jazz best creator and being able to get into the key and the paint and create all sorts of, as my good friend would say, havoc, and allow the opportunity and create the opportunity for others to get wide open perimeter shots. And I expect that to a good degree this year, and then the following year, I expect him to be the best player in that regard.
Yeah, but Summer League, I don't know. I've backed on Summer League enough. I do Salt Lake, Jonathan Reinhart and his crew that put on Salt Lake Summer League. It's awesome, and the fans being out there is amazing, and us getting to see Darren was super. But, like, from a pure basketball standpoint, like, I agree with everything you just said. I think he might be amazing. I kind of knew that before Summer League started.
Understood, yeah.
And I think, and I'm not, like, the play that he made against the Clippers, the one-on-one drive, left side, not the dunk, but the left side drive and finish, that's pretty special stuff. There aren't a lot of guys that can do that. It leads you to believe there's going to be really awesome stuff coming. I would like to see it happen with 3 inches more taller on every player on the floor. Like, it's just a lot harder. All those gaps are smaller. Getting to the rim, I think he's going to do it. I actually don't have any doubt he's going to be able to do it. You just have to learn it differently. So that was a good first sample for him to feel that, see it, have that experience. The value is the amount of time that Darren Peterson spent with our coaches. The value is the amount of time that Darren Peterson spent with Keontae George. The value is the amount of time he spent with the strength and conditioning staff. All the value of Summer League is not during games. There's huge value to it because it's putting the guy in your facility and having him work with your players, getting your system, knowing your play calls, knowing your coaches. Huge value, just not during the games. That's my point.
Sure.
I don't know if I said it.
Okay.
But I hot-caked it a little bit. I don't know if you know that, PK, how that works.
No.
Sometimes you hot take. I don't know. So, PK, this is the way it works.
Okay.
Sometimes you say something, it's a little bit of a hot take. It takes out some of the intricacies of the details. And people grab the one thing you said, blow it up, and then you're kind of backpedaling the whole time so that you can get the intricacies in. I don't know if you've ever been a part of that before.
I don't do that, man. Mine are well-grounded.
Well, mine aren't. Mine were 8 o'clock in the morning after a beautiful Emily Dickinson-asked poetry about how great you guys are matching the Majestics in Utah Mountain.
I would go more with Angie Dickinson.
Okay, that sounds fine. I like her too. She had a longer run. She had a longer run than Emily Dickinson.
No offense to Emily.
Emily's run was cut short. Angie's was forever.
I'm wondering if LeBron's.
Does anyone else have any idea what we're talking about?
Yeah, people over 80.
Well, that's my audience.
I'm wondering.
Women over 80.
I'm wondering if LeBron's taking so long to make a decision because with all your travels, he just couldn't get you on your phone to get your advice. You want to throw your advice out now so you can make a decision and get on with it? What do you think?
Super pissed at LeBron right now.
Me too.
I'm so pissed at LeBron. Here's the issue. Every year, around August 12th, the schedule comes out. And I know on that date that I get to, sit down, figure out where I'm going, what I'm doing. the family needs. It's like an important. They can't build a schedule till this egomaniac chooses his team, and it takes a long time to build a schedule. So I'm not going to get my schedule on August 12th anymore, and I'm pissed because there's no way they can get the schedule out in 3 weeks because LeBron's got to play Christmas, and LeBron's got to play opening day, and LeBron's got to play ABC 14 times, and LeBron's got to play Amazon Prime 13 times, and we don't know where LeBron is. We can't build a schedule. So stop being so selfish. I want my schedule because I'm selfish, darn it.
He's ungodly selfish.
I don't care where he plays. Just get me a schedule. No, I think he's got the whole league on hold right now. He's got to make a decision. I'm convinced, like, Adam Silver's got to be picking up the phone and calling LeBron and being like, hey, I need you to make a decision.
We'll leave it right there for now, David. We appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us, and squeeze us more summer. Well, that's what I was trying. That's what I thought you were going to ask, but you didn't want to. You didn't really want to go there.
I mean, where do you think he should go?
I hope he goes to Cleveland or Philly. I find I think those will entertain me the most.
You're ungodly selfish.
I am.
Then I'd have to go Cleveland. I just feel that being the mercenary to the one city to another city to go get it doesn't feel right for someone of his stature. Going back to Cleveland for a run 3 and wrapping it all up in a bow feels correct to me, but then he'd have to live in Cleveland for the year.
It's a shot towards Cleveland.
It is.
Well, you have to live in Philly, too, so.
That's a shot towards Philly.
Fact.
And actually, he doesn't. He can live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Right.
Across the river.
I mean, the other question, I just wonder if the whole delay is them trying to find a way for the Golden State thing to work. That's the only question I have on it. It's like, that just feels like the right way to do it, like a somewhat of a tour for Steph and LeBron and Draymond, and for them to all have this experience, and like that's actually so real. Like, that one to me is literally what if you got like our old original 1320 K-fan group together, and suddenly we're like, hey, let's get back together, and we do like, or it's like a rock star reunion tour, or like if there's been somebody you've always wanted to work with. That's just to me very human. And I kind of understand it, so I kind of wonder if it's all trying to still get the Golden State.
I'd rather see the Stones at Red Rocks.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be sick.
David,
I can tell you the time I saw the Stones, but DJ wants to finish the show.
No, go ahead. Tell me about the Stones.
Saw the Stones in living color and Guns N' Roses at the L.A. Coliseum at the peak of Axl Rose. Appetite for Destruction was out, and so was Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. He was from L.A., and the sad thing of the night was that Axl was literally who Mick Jagger once was. And Guns N' Roses was so electric and so unbelievable, and the Stones were great, but you could actually see that Mick Jagger had watched that and been like, oh, that's what I used to have. And Guns N' Roses totally stole the night. There you go. Little stories.
Thank you,
David.
David.
Again, DJ.
Another one. Golly, David. Oh, man. You're doing it on purpose now. This doesn't even count. David
I
Locke.
wouldn't do that.
David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, joining us for the last time before he goes away on a big old gigantic pause to see the Stones in Denver. There, we tied it all together. Thanks, David.
Yeah.
All right, there's David Locke. When we come back, what is trending? The headlines are next.
We all have routines. I'm Jabron, and with diabetes, mine was finger sticks. Sometimes I skip them because they hurt. The Freestyle Libre 3CGM changed that. It gives me glucose insights without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Finger sticks are required if your glucose alarms or readings do not match symptoms, or when you see check blood glucose symbol for the first 12 hours. The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.